So, hello there. Yeah, right. Well, I was at about 6 o'clock this evening. I was supposed to go live, and we were gonna do the acupuncture 101. So, like, obviously, life kind of like puts things in the way. So, and stuff happens. I wasn't around at 6 in the evening. Um, by the time it was, wow, what, 8 in the evening? Pardon me. By the time it was 8 in the evening, I was at least 2 hours overdue and behind, late with what I intended to do. Pardon me. Um, it's now about 9:30. It's 36 minutes past 9 in the evening. So sorry about that. You're with me now. I'm live. Hi, I'm Frank. You can call me Elkanah. I'm the director and chief administrative officer of my brand community, Sincere Community, which is an SME, a CMO, a CPD, and has a chartered aspect as well within practicing as a chartered project professional. I'm also self-employed in other areas as well. I'm a protocol detox therapist. I'm an artist and performer, independent with my urban pop dance, adult contemporary, artistic material. Um, I'm not just stuck in one medium when it comes to art. I used to be a graffiti artist. I did art and drama, GCSEs. Um, I love science as well. Arts and science is my thing. I studied to be a social scientist when I was 21 at Bath College. I learnt my best mate's old man, and God bless him, rest in peace in heaven. He was an associate lecturer at Bath University in sociology. He got me into social sciences kind of like back in 1989 when I was about 13. So that's how I got into that. Um, I took it up with my interests in identity politics and consumerism and that at the time during all my skateboarding and being a bit of a punk and that as well, and kind of identity politics and that social psychology phenomenon, consumerism, stuff like that, people's rights. That's pretty much how I took it up to begin with when I was about 13, which is like sort of 1989. That's when I was like heavily into like Public Enemy as well. I really loved what Public Enemy did for the movement and culture of hip hop and rap. So I trained to be a chef. I trained in health and hygiene when it comes to like catering, hospitality, and that, which I've been doing since I was about 13 as well. Before I left school, I had to work because my mum was only like a barmaid and a florist at the time until I left school. And then my mum went back to college in like 91 when I did. And I was like 15. Obviously, I'm born in the late spring, just before the summer solstice. It's my birthday in like June, so I'm like late spring baby. But anyhow, and then she went on to work for the government and stuff as a personal assistant for the military and everything. So anyway, less of that. And God bless my old dear in heaven. May she rest in peace. And that along with some others I can think of. So I'm having problems with my hair right at the moment. My mad locks. And I need to have them just right, so I look like dead comfy on my head, like with like all my hairiness, like right. So we looked at the last time I went live. We were looking at reactions and demands within the emerging diversity of like hip hop arts and their influence on society and culture. So, what we're dealing with right at the moment is a simple acupuncture 101. I trained to be a detox therapist within the protocol of the AcuDetox Plus. That's a UK kind of like the NADA. It's like NADA. It's the 5 point like acupoint, 5 point acupoint auricular, like acupuncture. I also do acupressure, and that I know way more than 5. There's more than like 5, more than 7. 7 is like the yin school, and there's more than like a dozen. There's more than like 12 different acupoints in the ears alone, of auricular acupuncture and acupressure. It does work. It's not for everyone. Having said that, because of the ears in general, it's to do with like the chromosome and that, and genomics. There's about 8 different ways to spot rare chromosomal like mutations or defects within the genomics of like a person's ears. So you can spot 8 different symptoms of like disorder or disease that are like inherited. Like you've had that since you were born. Like the ear itself, actually, they're like this bit here, around the ear roll itself to the ear is an upside down fetus. If you take a proper look at it, some is they're all a few different types of shapes commonly, but if you look at that inner fossa, that's what it's called, an inner fossa. Fossa like is the Latin for fetus. Obviously it's the inner ear around the ear hole or ear, the canal there to the ear. That's an inner fossa. So at the end of the day, it looks like an upside down fetus of yourself. Basically, it's a representation of you yourself, when you were just a fetus, but upside down. So anyhow, acupuncture 101. So the basics is what we're dealing with. With this course, we'll be looking at the inflammatory of inflammation, because basically at the end of the day, this is what it's all about when it comes to like anything to do with like allergies, disorders, which disorders lead to disease. If there's no intervention to like prevent further problems and that, or health problems with the inflammatory of toxins, be they allergies, whatever, we work all this stuff out. You'd work this out with your therapist. So, the basics when it comes to inflammatory. The inflammatory is of every layer of your cell. So from like your bones to your blood to like the muscles with the veins and that, and your flesh. And flesh is made up of 5 different layers as well. Then you've got the like chemistry, it's all brain chemistry at the end of the day. So you're talking about things like melanin, and that's a chemical within the brain that's to do with the color pigments and complexion of your skin, and at least on the top layer, like the external, most outer image of your shade's tan. So right, we're gonna look at what's involved in the acupuncture needles. Right, now not everyone's into needles, that's fine. If you don't like needles, there's always acupressure, which are like little sticky acupoint studs that you can stick to the acupoint sites, and then you would massage them with your fingertips. Right, so not everybody's into needles, not everybody wants to get like an acupressure point like pierced so that they've got permanent like fix on the therapeutic benefits of what acupressure and acupuncture is all about. So right, with that, inserting the needles into the meridians. So meridians are certain sites on the body that, in short, right, we would look at them as pressure points where your energy flows through and may gather and get trapped, stuff like that. So and things that are bad for you, like coffee, alcohol, salt, sugar, and like that, fats and fatty stuff and oily stuff. And if you engage in stuff that's really stressful for you, and stresses you out, then you're gonna have problems with your hormones. This is of like syndromes, and hormone proteins that are really bad for you. Like that's a general rule. As a general rule, hormone proteins that are harmful are really bad for you. So if you're suffering from stress, you need to chill out. If you're worrying and you have anxieties, you need to stop that and chill out. If you have problems with your diet and exercising and losing weight, then you need to put a stop to that. And it's gonna work out for you, so chill out. Don't worry if you tried in the past and failed, and that it's kind of normal. But with the right therapist and the right motivation, and that kind of coaching you, mentoring you, and that through every step of the way, then although there's no such thing as failure as well, there should be a success story there to keep working on and keep working at. And the philosophy kind of like behind all that supported activity that you would engage in for the benefit of the therapeutic purpose, and that when you're engaging with your therapist is pretty much that's what the basics are of that acupuncture. So like in acupuncture, so we want the results, yeah. We want results. We want the therapeutic benefits, yeah. That's the whole point. We got a problem, yeah. Some of these problems are acute and some of the problems are chronic, or we've got a mixture of both, yeah. So we've got more than one problem. One of them is acute, the other one is chronic, or there's just an acute problem, or there's just a chronic problem. So, and we need to sort it out. So, keep looking at the point of the autonomic nervous system. Now, the autonomic nervous system is a separate system within your nervous system. It's off to your vital organs, and that, including that of your brain, and that with the big emphasis and like focus on the brain. Right. In stimulating the acupoints or meridian sites of the acupoints, and that so that your energy can flow, right? Energy in Chinese, they would refer to it as qi. So the qi, right, ultimately has to flow, right? And the worst thing you can do within the prospects of benefiting from the therapeutic purpose, right, with your therapist, the worst thing you can do is condense, right? As a human, as a living mind, energy, and that, and of the spirit, in the spirit of life, yeah, and the life of that, in the spirit to the life of that, a life of that, and like sorting out all your problems and that's holding you back, and obviously ruining your life and preventing you from living a healthy and fulfilled like lifestyle within your own energy and spirit. The worst thing you could do is condense on all of that, because it's like imploding. It's like you're going to implode, basically. It's the worst thing you can do spiritually and in life as a human being, and just having to get out of bed in the morning and get up and get to work and everything and be mindful. At times, it's the wedge that it is, that's the spanner that it is, and yeah, it hurts as well. It's irritating, and no one likes to be aggravated into a migraine, do they? No. Oh, like, especially one that makes you want to like crawl for your wheelchair. If you're being aggravated into the likes of a like type of migraine that makes you want to crawl away from everything into your wheelchair, then like that's not good. That's really hurtful. So we need to stop all that. We need a way to like get away from that. Right. We need to be able to apply. This is all about the applied of the therapeutic means, and applying. Yeah. The basics of acupuncture 101. Right. So you can think like take 10 minutes out if you want. You can stop this and go back to it. Take 10 minutes out and give yourself a little mindfulness exercise. Give yourself a little exercise, chill out, stretch. If you're going to stretch, have a stretch and feel good about it. You don't overdo it, because I don't want you to hurt yourself, and that don't overdo any of these muscles here under your arms and all that, in your back and your neck and all that, yeah, and your legs and that, if you're groin and stuff, yeah, don't do that. Yeah, nothing over strenuous, and that, like when it comes to like Tai Chi and that, and balancing, ultimately balancing all your energy so that your energy is flowing like properly, and that It's all to do with balance. And balancing the effects of your autonomic nervous system. So all your vital organs, we're getting into the likes of like physiology and physiology of your cell biology, because you're like made of trillions of cells and that are full of, right to the core of each cell, like you're full of like the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is like the nucleus of each cell. So you're made of like trillions of cells, like a cathedral's made of like all the bricks that it's made of, and the windows and all the glass and everything. And all the like pews inside where you sit down, and all the Bibles and everything. So like, right, so with that, you're like a cathedral, right? And you've got these trillions of cells. Right in the center of each cell, right, is the cytoplasm, which is like where all your energy's at. Because right, you're living mind, you're a human being, right? And you're an electrical storehouse, like the lights are on, ding, and that the energy is flowing, the currents, yeah, the currents of your living mind and body, yeah. So we want to get past fatigue. We want to get past feeling sore, yeah. We want to get past being hurt. We want to get past like muscles twitching, like involuntary and that. Like we want to get past that. We want to get past lightheadedness. We want to get past heavy-headedness. We want to get past emotional disturbances, yeah, and like problems with emotional releases and that. We want to get past all of this. So we want to get past feeling like ish, yeah, and that at our worst, because that's like the bare basics of like acupuncture 101 or even acupressure 101. So here's the treatment plan, right? Whether you just come back to this or not because you took 10 minutes out just to be like mindful of what I'm on about and that. We're going to close this up in a minute. So like a common treatment plan, right, for any complaint, when likes are like a therapist like myself, you can find like the therapist I am. There is like a federation of therapists like myself. There's also an association of like therapists like myself. Or you could always use the NICE network, the NICE networks, via the NHS, in partnership with the NHS, recommended by the NHS. If you're looking for like a therapist like myself, and you want to get involved in treatment, or maybe you just wanted to benefit from like picking a therapist's brain and a free consultation, some free information, right? A treatment plan. That's a weekly plan, every week. So not every day of the week. You might want to do it like 3 days, 3 days of the week, every week. That's a treatment plan, right? With a therapist like myself, right? It's all depending on the condition, yeah, and the severity of that condition that you'll be in treatment for. So let's structure that, and we structure all of that around what's causing all the inflammation. What is the inflammatory cause of the problem, right? Exactly. And how do we engage in treatment, like quickly, swiftly, to get the best results, and that, so that I can heal my prospect, yeah? Who's sat there going, ow, Frank, help me. Like, right. Now, the scope in what I do is basic, it is intermediate, and it is advanced, right? And it is of the medical, yeah, right? And it's formal, it's accredited, yeah, it's of a degree, it's also of a PhD within, tailoring and customizing the routes that you can take within what I do. So what I do is like pathology at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, it is pathology. There are other aspects within the general route of pathology that, albeit, is up to me, and that here, there, but cell biology, pathology, behavior, speech, stuff like that, it's just respiratory issues in the genome of blood groups and blood types and stuff, the hereditary and somewhat little bits and pieces of psychology that go a long way within general, like, point to what I do as a pathologist in my protocol detox therapy. Right, so not always at a glance. I don't always detect the most common of defects at a glance. Just can't be done always. Right. So you want freedom. You're like Jesus, right? You're your own personal Jesus. You need freedom. So no more discomfort, no more emotional imbalance, right? You need health and well-being, yeah? You need to recover, right? You need to balance your energy, yeah? And feel well, right? So welcome to my style. The style traditionally is Chinese. It's also of what I've done at university, and it's a little bit Western, right? It's also a tad Japanese, right? In what I do, you will recover, right? And how I work, it's a lot different from this video. I just sat here on my own, reaching out to people for free, just for like 10, 20 minutes, right? To see what I can get from the kind of like coaching and remote teaching that I'm capable of, in how I would like mentor somebody, like briefly as well. Yeah, no, briefly. I ain't into no long-term thing. Even if you need it, just go online, go back to it. Yeah, listen to it again, watch it again, listen to it again, whatnot. I like to check up on you, but I done told you, like, if I ever engaged with you, then our treatment plan would be like short term. And when I'm happy to certify you in that short term treatment plan, right? Boom. I've told you already. You passed already. You know what to do. You know how to take care of yourself. It's up to you. It's all on you, because there's no such thing as failure. Anyway, I ain't gonna tie you up and that and beat you down, right? Just because you went and partied, right? Okay, it's no such thing as failures. It's not how I do my thing, right? You're allowed to have your birthday, you're allowed to enjoy your Christmas and all that. I'm allowed to mind my own business as well, and you're allowed to know better and take good care of yourself anyway, right? Anyhow, so the individual is a whole. The individual is alive. The individual is made of matter and has a soul, right? The individual is the energy that is the spirit of life. The individual is a living, breathing, yeah, mind and body, yeah, within an environment that's risky and immoral, right? So like 1, 2, 3, right? And it's okay. It's gonna be alright. I sound like my mate Clive. But having said that, it is okay, and everything's going to be all right. I'm here for you. That's the first part of Acupuncture 101, the basics. I don't have much else to say. I just did this off my own back. It's out there. It's free. Help yourself to it. There will be some other free classes within the theme of this. They're available on Facebook. They're available on my YouTube. I will be sharing links on Twitter and everything, and Instagram, and that, and my organisation website, sincerecommunity.org, and that. You could probably I'll work out something with my Bark profile. If you ever come across my Bark profile, whether that's via Facebook or just online or through a referral from someone who recommended Bark and that, and you were looking for someone in the area, even if you're hundreds of miles away up the other end of the country and that, and you come across my Bark profile, I'll work something out. I'll try to make it clear that there's a lot of free stuff there that people can just help yourselves to. You can just call me or email me and stuff like that as well. I'm pretty easy. Don't get me wrong, everyone needs to make a living in that, and my studies are expensive and whatnot, and I've got a few things that I've always liked since I was young, and that I still like to carry on enjoying them and collecting and whatnot. And I've got my diet's well expensive nowadays. Now, a particular type of vegetarian diet that I indulge in, I don't really afford to do it properly. It would cost me about 300 quid a week to eat that way, which I don't afford to do. So, but having said that, I'm easy, I'm approachable, I'm not rude, I'm not arrogant, I'm a nice person and I like to be polite and that. So if you've got anything you want to ask me, just reach out, ask me, it's all good. You can take up a little bit of my time, some more and that. Maybe I can help you. If you've got any issues with your genome and genomic stuff, I do know what I'm doing and that, and I'm able to use the kind of data resources that I purchased and practiced with at university, because I am at university and that I will be for the rest of my life. So if you wanted to just pick my brains, it takes me about an hour. You have to answer 1 or 2 questions and that for me, and then give me an hour and I'll get back to you. But I don't mind. I do it for nothing, and I don't have to share your information or even ask you if it's all right to, or if it's not all right. And that, so don't worry. I do what I do in confidentiality as well. I might say a little something, but I ain't gonna name drop you and all that unless you really want me to, big you up and everything, to a bunch of a crowd of people online who might not. It doesn't matter. It's no biggie. So yeah, just reach out. Got any questions? Don't be afraid to ask. All right. Stay safe. Stay well. Don't have any accidents. And if you've got COVID or Omicron, stay home. Save lives. And that's that. Take care. Thanks.